What are the key reasons for concern in 2019, Peter?
Well, that's a much longer list. But the key concern is the level of debt, which Simon's already alluded to. And we just don't seem to have found a model where we can grow economies without debt expanding. And the consequence of that is, in the end, that we're going to require inflation to get rid of that debt as a percentage of or reduce it as a percentage of assets and incomes. But that may not happen in 2019. We make no predictions at all about the short term. And I would call the whole of 2019 a short-term prediction. But we're pretty convinced that the distortions which QE has introduced to the price of all financial assets will in the end be reversed. And we worry a lot that when that debt starts to fall, central banks will be very poorly placed to deal with it and will have to be very radical when it comes.
Right, well, definitely something to think about there. Jean, your key concerns for 2019?
I think what we'll be doing is looking again at all of our companies' balance sheets, making sure that they're not overly levered or that they're generating enough cash flow to delever and protecting ourselves in that way. I think politically, you might say, as well as there could be resolutions to what's going on in 2018 and the whole Brexit process, there could also be a new government in 2019, so we have to consider what that might bring and position ourselves and with that in mind also. So, areas for concern or areas where we need to be nimble, I would say.
Yeah, well, it's been a political minefield here in the UK, but hopefully we'll get some clarity on that in 2019. And Simon, what are your key concerns for 2019?
Well, I think just to enlarge on a couple of the points already raised, the biggest worry we have running a global equity fund is trade, by and large, and trade disputes came before major stock market crashes, 1929, 1971. Both of these had trade disputes, and often trade disputes in a world where currencies were fixed. Now, of course, most currencies are not fixed. The dollar can be printed by the American government, the sterling can be printed by our government, but of course the Italians can't print euros without talking to the Germans first. So it's that combination of fixed currencies and disrupted international trade arrangements which is the most worrying thing, apart from inflation, which we always try to keep an eye on. So I hope Peter's right that Donald doesn't play his cards too hard and end up with a bad deal or no deal with the Chinese. Temperatures certainly still seem to be getting worse as we stand at the moment. I don't think it's right to assume that he'll do the right thing.
In our AIC Fund Manager poll, the managers thought the greatest threat was trade war.
Yeah.
So I think that chimes with your thoughts there.